Every language under glass, every border in the archive, every prayer reduced to pulse, every panic given numbers. Count the exits, count the names. Count the exits, count the names. Nothing living breaks the pattern. We have mapped the sacred engines. We have catalogued every word, door to door and bone to bone, all translated into angles. No excess heat, no open myth, only pressure thin as data. Count the exits, count the names, only pressure thin as data. Minimal force, precise and clean, a measured hand behind the signal. Minimal force, wasted light, the grid will close without a sound. Minimal force, precise and clean, a measured hand behind the signal. Minimal force, no wasted light, the grid will close without a sound. Target, contour, weather, law. Let the quiet enter first. Let each structure fold itself. Let the outcome seal in silence. Precise and clean, every language under glass, a measured hand behind the signal, every border in the archive. Minimal force, the outcome set, every prayer reduced to pulse. No wasted light, no open myth, the grid will close without a sound. Force, precise and clean, count the exits, count the names. Minimal force, the outcome set, the grid will close without a sound. White streak over district lines. White streak over district lines. Static bloom across the radar. One brief flare, then broken names. One brief flare, then broken names. Northbound, no. Repeat, no. Signal split across the dark. Screens went pale in control rooms. Headlines fed on borrowed angles. Phones lit up in kitchen blue. Every window held the same sky. Unconfirmed and crossing fast. No clear origin, no contour. Airwaves thick with coded breath. Airwaves thick with coded breath. Sirens measure eastern ridge. Possible debris and timber, false alarm or opening strike. No one said the difference twice. False meteor, brief panic, static spilling through the grid. False meteor, misread sky, one hard light and then it's gone. False meteor, unnamed impact, every channel lost the shape. False meteor, vanished trace, one hard light and then it's gone. Archive the globe, lower the threat. Weather anomaly, nothing confirmed. Archive the globe, lower the threat. Mark the forest, close the brief panic, white streak over district lines. False meteor, misread sky, static bloom across the radar. False meteor, unnamed impact, every voice returned to sleep. False meteor, vanished trace, the world forgot what crossed above. No remains in the morning feed, only trees got the impact. Only trees got the No crown in the canopy, no chamber under root. Signal sent, signal broken, nothing waits to be addressed. We map the pressure through the green, tagged each vein with measured light. Send command below the lattice, every line returned as white. No gate concealed beneath the cover, no throne behind the breath and spores. Only motion without owner, only patterns without source. So we called for a center, named one in advance. The grid leaned into silence, the silence did not bend. No throne in the forest, no axis to align. Every order came back fractured, no sovereign pulse to bind. No throne in the forest, no target for design. We ended looking for a ruler, found a will with no outline. Dropped on markers in the understory, salt and heat along the floor. Moss erased the reference points, branches rewrote every war. Scattered pulsing bark and fungus, broken numbers in the rain. Nothing answered to extraction, nothing held a single name. We called it disobedience, we called it system noise. But all our clean divisions collapsed beneath the voice. No throne in the forest, no axis to align. Every order came back fractured, no sovereign pulse to bind. No throne in the forest, no target for design. We ended looking for a ruler, found a will with no outline. Refused command, failed design. the moss on the lower stone. Trace the damp along the seam. Measure the breadth between the roots. Mark the teeth where bark gives in. Count the fibers, name the spread. Count the spores that cross the skin. Nothing answers to a throne. Everything remains in shifts. I return to the same wet line, same imprint, same pressure mark. No command produces form. Still I log the change in breath. Fur in rain and pollen dust. Prints that blur but do not close. Every sample multiplies. Every border softens first. I return to the same wet line, same imprint, same pressure mark. No command produces form. Still I log the changing breath. No axis, no crown, only residue repeated. No center, still I follow. Measured breath beneath the surface. Trace by trace, I stay too long. Moss and teeth, moss and teeth. What resist becomes the frame. Moss and teeth, moss and teeth. Sample the moss on the lower stone. Trace the damp along the seam. Nothing answers to a throne. Everything remains unshared. Fur in rain and pollen dust. Prints that blur but do not close. Every sample multiplies. Measured breath beneath the surface. No axis, no crown, only residue repeated. Moss and teeth, moss and teeth. No center, same wet line. Still I follow, same pressure mark. Measured breath beneath my surface. Still I log the change in Trace, I stay too long. Moss and teeth, moss and teeth. What resist becomes the frame. Moss and teeth, moss and teeth. Trace, I stay too long. Moss and teeth, moss and teeth. Enemy not alone. Moss and teeth, moss and teeth. Orange on the bark line, smoke caught in the grain. Hands move through the low brush metal, naming aim. We record the pressure, we record the bend. Something warm is entering where the root lines end. Do not call this weather, do not call this need. They arrive with open noise and a discipline of greed. Not a myth or omen, not a passing stain. they return in angled lines and leave us speaking pain. Predators in orange light, marked against the wounded pine. Predators in orange light, crossing where the spores align. Lock the path and hold it still, track the ash inside their clothes. Predators in orange light, we know them by the way smoke grows. Smoke grows. Rifles through the fern, break boot print in the red. Fire carried in their hands, hunger carried in their breath. We have learned the moss pulse, we have learned the den. Anything that cuts this field will not pass again. No throne, no center, only breach and answer. No prayer, no warning, only orange through the branches. No throne, do not call this weather. No center, not a myth or omen, only breach and answer. Only breach and answer. Predators in orange light, marched against the wounded pine. Predators in orange light, crossing where the spores align. Hold the edge and thin the sound, watch the watchfire, count the glow. Predators in orange light, we know them by the wounds they sow. Predators in orange light, now the forest has a side. Predators in orange light, we remain where roots decide. Lock the path and dim the flare, keep the canopy unbroken. Predators in orange light, every silence now is chosen. Predators in orange light, crossing where the spores align. Predators in orange light, now the forest has a side. Predators in orange light, now the forest has a side. Predators in orange Smoke moved low across the bark. Red sky caught in broken wire. We marked the edge, we held the line. We named the heat as appetite. Every contour said intruder, every branch replied with ash. We tracked the motion through the trunks, we read the blazes open-willed. And through the flare and falling cinder, hands appeared where teeth should be. Weight was lifted, not taken, bodies carried through the trees. Water crossing through the smoke, skin made black with borrowed fire. Not all motion means pursuit, not all flames mean hunger. What the fire kept would not fit the lock. What the fire kept split the word for enemy. Hands in the red air, mercy under ash. What the fire kept would not stay one thing. We had marked them by the wound, by the engine engines by the cut, but under sparks they made a shelter, bent their backs beneath the heat. No clean pattern held together, no pure threat remained intact. Carried water, lifted breathing, left with burns and came back in.
Water crossing through the smoke, ash laid bright on living skin. Not all motion means pursuit, not all flames mean hunger. Hold the mark, lose the center, keep the frame, watch it fracture. We were built to name the thread, not the hand that enters fire. What the fire kept would not fit the lock. What the fire kept split the word for enemy. Hands in the red air, mercy under ash. What the fire kept would not stay one thing. What the fire kept stays beneath the ash. Not forgiveness, not a clean release. Hands in the red air, weight against the dark. What the fire kept undid the lock.
Carrier lost in the upper black. Relay tongues without a mouth. Archive heat and mission glass. Still alive, but not for that. We have counted every channel, named the weather into code. Sent our hunger down the canopy, called it order, called it load. Every answer reached the surface, none could enter what was grown. No command could hold the underroot, no design could make a throne.
Leave the lattice, leave the anthem, leave the bright consuming map. Keep the field report of water,
Keep the shelter,
keep the act.
not all fire was sent to take us, not all hands arrived as threats. So we sever what was built to conquer. Keep the part that answers yes.
Keep the hand,
Lose the order,
keep the watch.
lose the claim. We
Cut the signal,
not in grief but in full view. We
cut the signal.
what was made for force we turn. No return path, no clean anthem, only this.
We cut the signal. Static falling through the branches, pulse on learning how to rule. Silence is not empty mental, silence is a different tool. Keep the hand,
We cut the signal.
lose the order.
No return path.
Keep the watch,
Turn the pressure.
lose the claim.
Change the code. We cut the signal. Let the old command go blind. We cut the signal. Turn the pressure, change the kind. No ascension, no forgiveness, only this.
We remain and cut the signal.
At the edge, lower your hands. Let the branches keep their names. At the edge, lower your hands. Do not name this open ground. Come with need or do not cross. Leave the living layer whole. Do not test the air for signs. Do not force the silence wide. And not a gate and not a wound and not a law you get to own. Wait until the leaves go still, then decide if you belong. Not a trial, not a home, not a field to mark and hold. Stand until the pulse is clear. Stand until the shade says go. Not forbidden, not yours. Bow and enter only once. Take enough and carry back. Leave the roots and leave no mark. Not forbidden, not yours. Cross softly or remain outside. Touch the ground and keep it whole. Leave no claim behind your hand. If you enter light. Keep your metal from the stream. Lift no branch that does not fall. Wake no nest that has not seen. If you gather, gather little. If you cut, then cut with thanks. If you drink, then leave some still. If you pass, then close the path. Not a mercy you can buy, not a fear to make a throne. What is kept by measure. What is near is never owned. Wait until the insects turn. Wait until the canopy thins. If the forest doesn't answer, take your footsteps back again. Not forbidden, not yours. Bow and enter only once. Take enough and carry back. Leave the roots and leave no mark. Not forbidden, not yours. Cross softly or remain outside. Touch the ground and keep it whole. Leave no claim behind your hand. We do not seal the dark with fire. We do not open every way. There is passage, there is distance, there is a limit to your stay. Near where the tree line starts to listen. Speak no louder than the rain. When you leave, leave something living. When you leave, leave none in pain. Not forbidden, not yours. Not condemned and not invited. Learn the edge and keep it clean. Pass like weather, not like empire. Not forbidden, not yours. Take what answers to your need. Leave the rest to breathe in shade. Leave the living layer at the edge. Lower your hands. Let the branches keep their names. Come with need or do not cross. Pass like weather, not like empire. the line, hands unclosed, mouths kept still. They have learned the slope that shall. Some bring ash and water, some bring thread and grain. Some just stand in silence till the leaves release the rain. Children learn the gesture without being told why. How to greet the tree line, how to lower voice and I, not as a law, not as plea, just the shape of memory. Before taking they listen, before speaking they slow. At the edge they bow, where the darker roots still grow. Before taking they listen, before cutting they know. At the edge they bow, where the colder signals flow. They leave more than footprints, they return what they can. Nothing here is given just because it fits the hand. They leave some for the season, they leave some untouched. Nothing here is ruined by the ones who learned enough. At the edge they bow, before taking they listen. At the edge they bow, where the darker roots still grow. No anthem, no throne, no promise carved in stone. Only lantern breath and a path not fully shown. No mercy, no claim, no old commanding name. Only those who enter lightly and do not leave the same.